Hello all, welcome back to Time to Dice Character Creation, where we make your favorite version characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Today, we're covering Marvel's most high-tech, low-tech superhero. T'Challa serves the nation of Wakanda, both as its king and its superpowered guardian, the Black Panther. Both titles he inherited from his father, and if that wasn't impressive enough, he wears an advanced suit made of vibranium, and an extremely rare metal capable of negating even the most powerful attacks and storing that energy for his own use. So beware of spoilers, and without further ado, let's get started. So what do we need to make the Panther King? Well, first, we'll need your standard superhero starter kit. Super strength, super speed, and super durability. Next, we need a strong connection to our ancestors, and it wouldn't hurt if we could give them a call for guidance when things get rough. And finally, we want a sleek vibranium suit that can turn enemy attacks into resources that we can use against them. T'Challa is a human, so we'll go with the human ancestry, giving us 8 hit points, a medium size, a boost of strength and dexterity, and a 25-foot movement speed. For our heritage, we'll pick up versatile human, giving us the toughness general feat, perfect for someone covered head to toe in an indestructible super metal. This not only gives us extra hit points, but it also lowers the DC of any recovery checks that we might need to make. Nothing suits the king of a nation better than the royalty background, so we'll take that to gain an attribute boost to charisma and dexterity, along with training in society. After all, the first step in ruling a nation is usually understanding everyone's interests. We also pick up the courtly graces skill feat, ensuring that we know how to behave ourselves at UN meetings. In between actually getting things done as the Black Panther. When selecting a class, we want something martial focused with a touch of divine flavor, and a strong defensive chassis never hurt anyone. That's right, say hello to this channel's first base class champion. As a champion, we get 10 hit points per level, which fits us perfectly, as T'Challa is a lead from the front lines kind of guy, so we're going to want to protect the throne from any unwanted regicide. We start training perception. A hero's instinct to leap into battle before fully processing a situation might lead to lightning-fast reflexes, but that sometimes comes at the cost of missing key details. We also gain extra proficiency in fortitude and will saves, helping us resist both physical and mental threats, while reflex saves start at trained, something we'll need to improve later through feats. Champions get training in religion and a skill based off the deity of our choice. For this build, we'll use Kazutal, the Mother Jaguar, as a stand-in for Bast. Her divine skill is society, which we already have from our background, so instead, we'll pick up diplomacy, to rule our people firmly but fairly. For our 2 additional skill trainings, we'll take acrobatics and athletics, to reflect those smooth, superhero-worthy moves. Lastly, we get proficiency with all simple and martial weapons, plus all types of armor, because while all Marvel heroes have a healthy dose of plot armor, we take that a little more literally than most. Moving on to attributes, we'll start with both strength and dexterity at a +3. While T'Challa may not be the strongest or fastest hero, he definitely lands in the superhuman end of the spectrum. Constitution is at a +1. I was going to say that when you're wrapped head to toe in vibranium, you don't need to be especially durable, but as it turns out, T'Challa is remarkably resilient even without the armor. Intelligence and wisdom are both a +0. T'Challa is undeniably brilliant, but for this build, brain power takes a back seat to brawn and agility. Finally, charisma sits at a +1, because if we're going to rule a nation, people have to actually like us. Well, I guess not really, but it certainly helps. At level 1, a champion subclass is defined by their cause, so we're going with the cause of justice, representing T'Challa's dedication to the laws and traditions of Wakanda. This grants us Retributive Strike, a reaction that lets us punish a foe who attacks an ally within our reach. When triggered, we can reduce the damage the ally takes by 2 plus their level, and make a strike against the attacker, supporting our allies and serving justice all in one move. We also gain Lay on Hands, a focus spell to heal an adjacent ally and give them +2 status bonus to AC for a round. Healing isn't usually in T'Challa's wheelhouse, but you can flavor this as a quick motivational speech that gets a warrior onto their feet and back into the battle. Additionally, we get the shield block reaction, letting us reduce incoming damage with a raised shield, in case we want to impersonate Captain America. For our level 1 feat, we'll pick up Natural Skill to gain training in Intimidation and Stealth, 2 skills essential for any good prowler. Then, the Deity's Domain class feat gives us access to the Athletic Rush domain spell, drawing in the power of the heart-shaped herb, to give us a +10-foot status bonus to our speed, and a +2 status bonus to athletics checks. Even better, we get to stride as part of casting the spell, so we don't have to worry about action economy slowing us down. At level 2, we'll pick up the Claw Dancer dedication, to represent T'Challa's panther-like fighting style. This archetype gives us access to Talon Stance, which doesn't fit our build, so this is the last time you'll hear me mention it. What we're really here for is Claw Stance, giving us a frenzied claw attack that deals 1d6 slashing damage and has the agile, finesse, grappled, unarmed, and versatile piercing traits. Note that this feat requires you to have a permanent claw attack, so make sure to check with your GM to see if your armor's built-in claws count, or else you might have to get some tiger claws permanently grafted onto your hands to make this build work raw. We'll also pick up the Titan Wrestler skill feat, allowing us to target creatures up to 2 size categories larger than us with athletics-based actions, like disarm, grapple, shove, and trip. Wakanda may be small on the map, but its king plays in the big leagues. At level 3, champions gain Blessing of the Devoted. We'll pick up Blessed Swiftness, which gives us a 5-foot status bonus to our speed, and lets us bolster an ally's defenses whenever they trigger an enemy's reaction while moving within our champion's aura. We also get the Fleet General feat, to further boost our movement speed by 5 feet. That way, we can sprint ahead of the army when charging into battle. Because who needs safety in numbers when you can just dive headfirst into the enemy's front line? At level 4, we get a class feat. Dashing Pounce lets us leap into an opponent's range and make 2 Frenzy Claw attacks for only 2 actions. The slight downside, if both attacks miss, we fall prone. But hey, just don't miss and you'll be fine. This feat gets even better when paired with Powerful Leap, which adds 5 feet to any leap that we make. That means we can make a 20-foot airborne pounce with 1 action, no roll needed. Basically, making difficult terrain yesterday's problem. At 5th level, champions get Weapon Expertise. We're going to stop giving the usual explanation about proficiency boosts that don't add anything extra. You don't need me to tell you that Weapon Expertise makes you an expert at weapons. You've got this. I believe in you. We also get Clever Improviser, which lets us be a master of many trades. For all skills that we aren't trained in, we get to roll with a bonus equal to our level minus 1, which increases to our full level at level 7. At level 6, we gain Reactive Strike, giving us an extra action each turn, but only when an enemy within our reach uses a Manipulate or Move action, makes a ranged attack, or leaves a square during a move action they're making. This not only lets us do a bit more damage, but if we score a critical hit against a foe taking an action with a Manipulate trait, we can disrupt their action entirely. So, if you end your turn next to an enemy spellcaster, you're basically just ruining their day. They can't run away without provoking punishment, they can't cast a spell without provoking punishment and risking losing the spell, and even if they draw a weapon to fight you the old-fashioned way, they risk provoking punishment. And the Combat Climber skill feat boosts our effectiveness when scaling walls, allowing us to keep a hand free while climbing, because if you're going to call yourself a guardian of a nation, you have to be agile on all terrain, even while that terrain is vertical. At level 7, champions get both Weapon Specialization for extra damage on each attack, and Armor Expertise for better armor proficiency. But the real prize here is Cat-like Reflexes from the Incredible Initiative General feat, which grants us a +2 bonus on all initiative rolls. Nothing says Black Panther quite like pouncing on foes before they even know that combat's begun. At level 8, we pick up Advanced Deities Domain for a focus spell, Enduring Might. Whenever we take damage from an attack or effect, we can activate the spell as a reaction to gain resistance to that damage. As the spell heightens, we automatically resist more damage, maxing out at 20 plus our strength modifier at rank 10. We also get Wall Jump, letting us make a second long or high jump if our first one ends next to a vertical surface. Being a superhero in the Marvel Universe isn't about how hard you punch or what your morals are, it's about how well you can fight when you're put into a hallway. Level 9 champions gain Reflex Expertise and Champion's Expertise, but the real game changer here is Sacred Body, not only boosting our Fortitude saves to Master, but also turning all successful Fortitude saves into critical successes, and Relentless Reaction, which enhances our Retributive Strike. Now, whenever we successfully hit a target with Retributive Strike, we deal persistent spirit damage equal to our Charisma modifier. Luckily, we've been investing in our Charisma so that we can use the Multi-Talented Ancestry feat to pick up the Oracle Dedication, to represent our Vibranium suit. I know taking a squishy caster class to represent an indestructible super metal might seem counterintuitive, but hear me out, I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. Our choice of Oracle Mystery doesn't really impact the build much, but the Ancestor Mystery is a great thematic fit, so that's what we'll be picking. For now though, this dedication grants us 2 cantrips from the Divine Spell list, but we'll only be covering 1 for now. The Shield cantrip lets us block incoming attacks with our suit, raising our AC by 1, and allowing us to use the Shield Block action to reduce any damage that does manage to make its way through. At level 10, we pick up the Slippery Prey skill feat, making it easier to escape enemy grapples by lowering the multiple attack penalty that we take from repeated escape attempts in the same turn. We also get basic Oracle spellcasting, granting us access to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rank spells. Echoing Weapon allows us to store energy in our claws, and for the next minute, release that energy to deal sonic damage to an adjacent creature, equal to the number of successful strikes we've made with that claw this round. The Instant Armor spell at 2nd rank lets us pick a suit of armor and don it with a single action at any point within the next 24 hours. Since UN meetings don't exactly appreciate you showing up in full superhero gear, this spell comes in handy when trying to balance your superhero life with your everyday casual king life. Finally, Warding Aggression for our 3rd rank spell lets us increase our AC against attacks coming from a single target, as long as we keep attacking that target for the next minute. Level 11 champions get Perception Expertise and Divine Will, which increases our will save proficiency to Master and turns all successful will saves into critical successes. An Exalted Reaction, letting our entire party join in on Retributive Strike as long as they're within our champion's aura, though their attacks will suffer a -5 penalty. Finally, we pick up the Die Hard feat, allowing us to survive up till dying 5 instead of dying 4. Should help you if you plan on getting thrown off any waterfalls anytime soon. At level 12, we pick up Blessed Counterstrike, letting us make an empowered attack against a target that provoked Retributive Strike since our last turn. This attack adds an extra damage die to the damage roll, and grants the foe weakness to both our and our allies' attacks for the next round. We also get the Quick Climb skill feat, boosting the speed of all of our successful climb checks, and eventually grants us a climb speed equal to our land speed once we reach Legendary in Athletics. Level 13 champions get Weapon Mastery and Armor Mastery, and the Adapted Cantrip General feat, allowing us to fill our other cantrip slot with the Gouging Claw cantrip from the Primal spell list. This lets us spend 2 actions on one attack that is slightly less accurate, but deals significantly more damage. Usually, it's probably better to make 2 strikes for 2 chances to hit, and to apply damage bonuses twice, but sometimes enemies punish you for making multiple attacks, so in those cases, you'll probably want to make 1 powerful attack instead. Plus, if you expect a fight to last several rounds, it might be smart to get off the persistent bleed damage from Gouging Claw early before going in for the kill with your Frenzied Claw attacks. At level 14, we pick up Divine Reflexes, granting us an additional reaction each turn. Now, you can use your Retributive Strike and Shield Block in the same round, or really punish a foe with 2 Retributive Strikes if they didn't get the memo that attacking your allies is a serious no-no. We also pick up Quick Swim, just in case we find ourselves in a prolonged fight with Namor. Small cats may hate water, but big cats usually don't mind that much. And trust me, we're the biggest of cats. At level 15, we'll pick up Greater Weapon Specialization for another flat damage increase, and Canny Acumen, which boosts our reflex proficiency to Expert. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice that our reflex proficiency was already Expert, and wonder what's going on. Well, at level 17, this will automatically boost our reflex proficiency to Master instead. And while we could have waited until level 19 to take this feat, to avoid 2 levels where it does nothing, I wanted Black Panther to have cat-like reflexes as early as possible, and this is how we do that. If you prefer a little bit more efficiency in the build, you can just switch this out for our level 19 general feat, but you'll have to wait till we get there for me to cover it. At level 16, we gain the Cloud Jump skill feat, tripling our long jumps and letting us high jump as far as we could previously long jump. This will definitely come in handy if you find yourself leaping across several cars in combat. Also, props to your GM if they manage to make that feasible in your pen and paper game. We also get Expert Oracle Spellcasting, unlocking defensive options. Our 4th rank spell, Kurzanji's March, will let us make out a war cry of Ibambe, empowering all allies within a 30-foot burst, with a +1 status bonus to attack rolls, fortitude saves, and will saves against mental effects. Being a good leader means knowing when to delegate, so use this spell to rally your team and let the rest of the Avengers handle things for a bit while you get a much-needed rest. Repelling Pulse lets us unleash a blast of stored energy from our armor, dealing damage and pushing foes back within a 30-foot emanation. Just keep in mind that you'll want to use this against lower level foes, as archetype spellcasting with a secondary attribute means our DCs are much lower than an actual spellcasters would be. And finally, for our rank 6 spell, we get Zealous Conviction, granting up to 6 allies 12 temporary hit points and a +2 status bonus to will saves against mental effects, as long as they follow your amazing leadership. And let's be honest, why wouldn't they be? At level 17, we're going to pick up the Bounce Back Ancestry feat, letting us recover from near-death experiences with ease by letting us come back from dying once per day without increasing our wounded value. You're a Marvel's comic book superhero. That means you have to have a near-death experience at least once per issue. Also at this level, we unlock Champion Mastery and Legendary Armor, increasing both our combat prowess and defenses to legendary levels. At level 18, we unlock another way to punish foes who attack our allies with Swift Retribution, granting us an extra action whenever a foe triggers a Retributive Strike, letting us strike towards them or make a strike against them on our next turn. And the Consult the Spirit skill feat lets us to call on our ancestors for advice. Fair warning though, the dead tend to be pretty cryptic with their answers. Featherstep at level 19 lets us move through difficult terrain with ease. Not the flashiest feat for a penultimate level, but that's because we're saving the real fanfare for the Hero's Defiance focus spell. This powerful ability can be activated just before applying damage that would drop us to 0 hit points, to instantly restore 68 plus 20 hit points, possibly saving us from going down in the first place. Every hero has that moment where they seem ready to go down for the count, but rise again, ready for more. And this is yours. And finally, we finish this build with the Kip Up feat, allowing us to stand up from prone for free without provoking reactions. And Master Oracle spellcasting caps off our magical prowess with the Energy Aegis spell, granting us resistance against any incoming energy damage, while Scintillating Safeguard lets us reactively resist one energy-based attack that targets you before you can get your Aegis off. We can even use this spell to protect up to 5 allies, though that part might not be the best fit for the character, unless you want to start passing out vibranium suits, which I'm sure the other members of the Avengers would appreciate. And there you have it, the Black Panther, Wakanda's fearless king and protector, brought to life in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. From his regal roots to his lightning-fast reflexes and high-tech vibranium suit, this build captures everything that makes T'Challa a legendary hero. Whether you're leading your party into battle or standing firm against overwhelming odds, you'll be ready to defend your realm with honor and style. If you like this build, make sure to let us know by hitting the like button and letting us know in the comments who you'd like to see next. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another build guide. So until next time, keep rolling high, and we'll catch you in the next one.